years of roaming, as Ed said, being the Jewish people being dispersed all over the country, all over the world.
Right.
And then in 48 they have their own homeland, which was miraculous, and their ancient homeland, Jerusalem, right? All right, you're listening to today's issue. All right, Alex, we'll let you go. Thank you so much, my friend, for being on, and we wish you the best with your camp, which is located in
Temple, Georgia. This week.
You can probably hear Interstate 20 from where you are, can't you?
Just about.
Yeah.
But God bless you.
All right, have a great day. All right, everybody, we will be back. Chris, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for your silence.
Thank you.
During this hour.
Thank you for your silence.
You done very well. We'll be back momentarily.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
90.5 KTXG, Greenville, Dallas.
Cell phone in your face. If you ask a question, they'll surround you with cameras. They'll scream at you. They'll try to get you to commit violence. I believe God is giving us a little bit of a glimpse into what life without Him would be like.
A Disciple's View with Todd Herman. Critical information from a faith-enriching perspective. Weekdays at noon Central on AFR. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Amos Kepier. Vice President J.D. Vance says talks with Iran have laid the foundation for a lasting peace deal. Jonathan Savage has more.
Vice President Vance laid out 4 achievements after 18 hours of negotiations in Switzerland. A mechanism for keeping open the Strait of Hormuz, a process for stopping any return to conflict, a roadmap for technical talks on Iran's nuclear program, and a return to Iran-free United Nations nuclear inspectors. This despite the Iranians threatening to walk out in protest at threats by President Trump.
There was a little bit of threatening, there was a little bit of whining, but at the end of the day, the talks continued and we made great progress.
Vice President Vance says Iran could use unfrozen assets to buy American soy, corn, and wheat.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer officially announcing he will step down from his position as fellow Labour Party member Andy Burnham looks to fill his place. Starmer speaking from 10 Downing Street.
I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision.
Starmer faced some of the lowest popularity ratings for any British leader in modern politics, as Burnham's growing popularity helped contribute to that decision. They're still assessing damage in southern Illinois from a deadly tornado outbreak on Sunday.
2 people were killed, at least 5 injured in Jefferson County, Illinois, with multiple tornado touchdowns along I-57 southeast of Dix, Illinois, and nearby rural Mount Vernon.
Oh my God! That is huge!
Yeah, that's pretty good size.
Video captured by Jason Clam. Roads are blocked with leveled trees and power lines, and mobile homes are crushed. The National Weather Service also reporting a tornado outbreak in Clay County. No injuries, with additional tornadoes to the east. Illinois leads the nation in tornado reports this year at 196. In Chicago, Jeff Manosso, Fox News.
At least 8 people are dead, including some teenagers, after dozens were shot this weekend in Chicago. President Trump reacting on Truth Social, saying, quote, "Why isn't Governor Pritzker calling me for help? I can make Chicago a safe city in 1 month." Here's acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche.
In Chicago, yes, there's federal agents there and they're working cases and they're doing great work. But there's not a partnership with local leadership. It's not the cops on the ground. It's local leadership encouraging the federal government to come in and help.
A 15-year-old has been left brain dead after participating in the viral Benadryl challenge. Caleb Castile has more.
Dangerous internet challenges are not a new thing. For years now, social media trends such as the Benadryl challenge have been putting the youth of America at risk. Leah Preston took part in this challenge where people record themselves taking an excess amount of the drug and attempting to stay awake through drowsiness to receive a high. In Leah's case, it caused a seizure and left her brain dead. Donna Rice Hughes is the president and CEO of Enough is Enough. She questions if kids even recognize the danger that they put themselves in when participating in these challenges. She also points out that the frontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision making, does not fully develop until age 25.
Kids are not supposed to be on these platforms if they're under the age of 13, period. Okay. Second billions of dollars off of underage kids.
While these tech bills slowly pass through Congress, she also says that parental resources are available on InternetSafety101.org. These resources are intended to help parents understand this digital age and make choices on how to protect their child. I'm Caleb Castile.
U.S. stocks are drifting near their records after trading resumed following a three-day weekend. Oil prices sank more than 2% and fell closer to where they were before the war with Iran. More news online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty P.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildman and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildman, President of the American Family Association. I kept it in the form of stock.
any cash. I didn't have any. It was just like a bank account.
Right.
It was not liquid. But this tax would, well, I didn't have enough money to qualify for the billionaire tax. But this tax is going to tax billionaires on their unrealized income.
Well, and also their homes and whatever things.
Right.
Well, and we covered a story last week, didn't we, about Seattle?
Yeah.
About how Seattle business is just being driven into the ground and being driven out into the suburbs. So
Isn't Starbucks moving to Tennessee?
The headquarters, they're moving some of their headquarters. They're not completely leaving Seattle, but some of the headquarters they're setting up an office in Seattle and
you mean in Tennessee?
In Tennessee, and their CEO, why was his name not coming to my mind? But he's moving to Florida himself.
Yeah.
So yeah,
even millionaires and billionaires don't like being unfair.
Ryan Nichols.
Starbucks guy?
That's CEO of Starbucks, Ryan Nichols.
Ryan.
That was
Ryan.
But
For Your Thoughts is his last name.
Brian Nichols for Your Thoughts.
Yeah, Nichols is the middle name. So, all right. Anyway, you wanted to continue our conversation for just a moment about we were discussing anti-Semitism in our country and in the world, and what's going on, and why Israel's in the news all the time now. It's a little tiny country.
Yeah.
Little tiny country, a little dot on the globe.
Well, let me set this up by giving the counter argument. You're going to hear this from the Democrat side. In fact, this is Joy Reid. I'll just play this, and then we can bounce off of this. I have a couple.
Joy, I have no Joy Reid.
Joyless Reid.
Okay.
And I have a couple of clips from Mike Huckabee, who gave a speech in Israel, and he talks about his relationship with President Trump, or President Trump's relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu, and the country of Israel's relationship with God. I know you've covered a little bit about this, but I think it's significant coming from the ambassador to Israel.
So what are we going to hear first, Joy Reid or
Joy
Mike
Reid.
Huckabee?
We're going to hear Joy Reid.
Okay.
Joy Reid is talking with Tashi Coates on her podcast. It's all she has left anymore. And she has says that she's not going to vote Democrat anymore.
Okay.
And this is the reason, cut 5.
But for me, the problem is not so much her, it's the party. The Democratic Party is as married to this Israel over everything. Israel no matter what, Israel no matter what they do, no matter how many people they kill. The Democrats were as married to that as the Republicans. And so it would take a really strong Democrat. It would take a Mamdani style event to get a Democrat to say that they weren't getting down with that. But to me, I, going forward, cannot vote for a Democrat who does not pledge to end this relationship. This relationship needs to end. There's a nuclear-armed expansionist power. They don't need our money, and they definitely won't get my vote.
Well, according to Ambassador Mike Huckabee, not so fast as far as the relationship between the two countries. He gave a speech to the Jewish News Service.